Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to learn how to design the solar car chassis just like the one seen here. This video is part of a series of videos that'll teach us how to design and 3D print the solar car. So let's go ahead and get started. Come on up to File and let's start a new design. So the first thing we want to do is come on up now and start a sketch here on our XY plane. We're going to come up to Create. We're going to come down to Rectangle and we're going to grab our center rectangle here. And it's important that you grab the center rectangle. And from our origin, we're going to drag out a rectangle with the dimensions. Notice where it's highlighted. We want that distance to be 2.125 inches. I'm going to hit the tab button and we're going to make the other dimension of our rectangle to be 5.5 inches. Hit enter. Now let's go ahead and finish our sketch, and we're going to go ahead and extrude this out now a distance of 1/16 of an inch or 0.0625 inches. Let's go ahead and select OK. Now we're going to go ahead and start a sketch on the surface of this rectangle. All right. I'm going to grab my regular 2-point rectangle drawing tool and I'm going to click somewhere over here and I'm going to drag out a square, oh yay, big or so. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and add some dimensions on that guy. So we want this top dimension here to be 0.75 inches and this distance here to be 1.5 inches. And then we want to dimension it from the center here to this side. So we center our rectangle. We want this distance to be 0.375 inches or 3/8. Okay. And then finally, we want this edge from this edge, the bottom of our chassis here, to be 1.5 inches. Now let's go ahead and finish our sketch. And we're going to extrude this guy out a distance of 0.5 inches. Okay, and now let's come over here and create another sketch on this side here. I'm going to rotate the part around here. Click right there. I'm going to zoom in, grab my line tool, and I want to create a line now that is 25 from this point right here. I want to create a line that is about, I'm going to drag my mouse over to this edge and I'm going to drag up, and when that green line shows up, I'm going to click there and then come down here. Okay, and then I'm going to connect my shape here so that I have a closed loop. I want to draw a line from here over to here. Okay, I'm going to come over to my dimension tool and I want this to be 25 degrees. And we're looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and finish our sketch. Let's go ahead and extrude this guy out. And we want to go a minus 0.75 inches. Okay, and make sure it says join and select OK. All right, so now we want to go ahead and create some holes for our axle to go through. So we're going to start a sketch on this small edge right here. I want to rotate my part around. I should say surface, not edge. And then we're going to grab our circle tool and somewhere around in this vicinity, I'm just going to drag out a circle. I'm going to zoom in with a diameter of 0.16. I'm going to come up here to my tangent constraint and I'm going to make this guy tangent to that line. All right. And then I'm going to offset my circle here a distance of 0.05 inches and select OK. All right. Then I'm going to come over to my dimension tool and I want to dimension the center of my circle from this edge. We want that distance to be 0.75 inches. Okay. And then finally, let's come back to our line tool and I'm going to click somewhere in this area. I'm going to draw a line that says tangent. See that tangent constraint, that green constraint that pops up? We're going to go straight down to the surface here of our chassis. Do the same thing on this side. Okay, and now I'm going to come over to my trim tool, get rid of that guy, and that guy. Let's come over here to our tangent constraint. Let's make sure that is tangent to that. And let's make sure that is tangent to that side. You could also just use the equal constraint to make them equal. All right, now let's close our loop. I'm going to grab my line tool again, and I'm going to just connect this guy right here. Okay, so we can extrude it. Now let's go ahead and finish our sketch, and we're going to extrude this out. Now be careful, we don't want this distance, we want this distance, and we want to extrude it out the other way, a minus 1/8 of an inch, or minus 0.125 inches. All right, and we're going to go ahead and select OK. Okay, and now we need to make a couple more of these because our axle is going to go through here, and so we need one over here, and we want one actually back here too. So let's go do that. And to do that, well, we're going to use our mirror feature. So we're going to come up here to create, come on down to mirror. We're going to come back over here to features. We're going to select on the feature we want, which is that. Then we want to select our mirror plane. Okay, so we're going to click on that. And then notice these guys pop up, these planes here. And you can come on over here to origin. And if you hover over them, you can see which one you want. And we want, well, that one. And then go ahead and select OK. Now we want to add one more. So we're going to mirror it yet one more time. So come on up to create. And we're going to go to mirror again. Once again, let's select that guy. Then we come on over here. We want to denote our mirror plane. So we're going to click on select. And we want to use that plane right there. But you can also do it over here as well. So our XZ plane. And go ahead and select OK. All right, so now we need to create our motor mount, a place for our motor to sort of rest on. So to do that, we're going to create a sketch right here on this surface again. Come grab our 2-point rectangle tool, and once again, we're just going to kind of drag out a rectangle in this general area. Okay, and I want this rectangle to have an overall dimension of this distance to be 0.55, this distance to be 1.02, and then I want it this edge from this edge, we want that distance to be 0.2, and then from here to here 0.24. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish my sketch, and we're going to extrude that guy upwards, and we want that distance to be, the extrusion distance to be 1.3. Go ahead and select OK. All right, so now let's make the hole where we're going to insert our motor. So we're going to come on over here, rotate our part around, hold down shift in our mouse wheel, and then move our mouse, and then we're going to start a sketch right here on this surface. Okay, I'm going to rotate it around once again, grab my circle tool, and I'm going to, somewhere in this area right here, actually we can align it with our midpoint. I'm going to come down, drag out a circle. All right, that is 0.95 inches in diameter. Whoops, that should say 0.95. Enter. And then we want to dimension the center of the circle from the top to have a distance of 0.505 inches. Enter. Okay, now let's go ahead and finish our sketch. And we're going to extrude this material here with a distance of minus 0.47. Select OK. And then we're going to add a couple fillets here on the top. We're going to come on up here to fillet, click there, click on that edge, and we want that fillet distance to be 0.509, and then select OK. All right, so now we need to make a hole for our motor axle to go through. So we're going to start a sketch yet again on this surface right here. I'm going to rotate it around again here. All right, and I'm going to grab my circle tool, I'm going to see if I can locate this. Let's come up to create. Let's go to project. And let's just project the geometry of that circle and hit OK. Now we have this center here that we can use for reference. Now let's come grab our circle tool. Click there. And we're going to drag out a circle with a diameter of 0.26 inches. Hit enter. See 0.26 inches. And we're going to finish our sketch. We're going to extrude this guy so that it cuts material, removes the material so it cuts all the way through. And you could just do a distance of, oh, 0.2 inches should be enough. And then select OK. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is to create a little notch up on the top here for our wires, our motor wires to poke through. So we're going to come on up here, we're going to start a sketch here. Okay, and once again I'm going to rotate it so it looks a little bit better. And then we're going to come on up to create, and we're going to grab the center rectangle again, and I'm going to find this center point right at the top here. Okay, where that green square is, I'm going to drag out a rectangle here, and I want to make it a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. So 0.25, tab, 0.25, hit enter. I feel like it's not entering my values correctly. Okay, so 0.25 by 0.25 inches. I'm going to finish my sketch, and then I want to cut away. Click on this guy and this guy and this guy, and we're going to go the other way, a distance of minus 0.47, minus 0.47 inches, and make sure it says cut. Select OK. Alright, now we need to make one more notch on the side of our chassis here to make way for our gear. Okay, so we're going to start a sketch right here. Alright, and I'm going to drag out a 2-point center or excuse me, not a center, but just a 2-point rectangle. I'm going to start a line on the edge of my chassis here, and I'm just going to sort of drag out a rectangle about yay big. Okay, I'm going to come up to dimension. I want to dimension this edge to this edge to be 0.025 inches. Okay, and I want the distance here, this distance, to be 1.12. Enter. Now let's go ahead and center this square. So we know this length here is 1.12, so if we click here to here and we divide that by 2, in other words 1.12 divided by 2, we'll have half that distance. And there we go. Alright, let's go ahead now and finish our sketch. And we're going to cut away this material here. Minus 0.0625. Select OK. Alright, so now we're going to create a feature right on this edge right here, and it's kind of like a little lip feature for our solar panel to rest on. So to do that, let's come on up to a sketch tool, and let's create a sketch on this plane right here. I'm going to rotate it around. Okay, I'm going to grab my line tool. Okay, I'm going to find this edge right here. This goes straight up, and I'm going to type in a distance of 0.26 inches. Click. Go across a distance of 0.03 inches. Click, and then come down so until that perpendicular icon or image pops up right there. See that 90 degree? We're going to click there, and then we're going to close our loop right there. Okay, now let's go ahead and finish our sketch, and we're going to extrude this guy across a distance of minus 0.75 inches. Make sure it says join, select OK. Alright, so now we need to create a hole over here for our axle to go through, and we want that hole to align with this hole over here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start a sketch right here on this face. I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to come up, I'm going to zoom in a bit, go to create, come on down to project. Okay, I'm going to rotate my part around here, holding down my shift and my mouse wheel. I'm going to click on this circle, right? And you'll see it project on our face here. And then go ahead and select OK. Okay, and we're done. Let's go ahead and finish that sketch. Extrude. Okay, we're going to click on that, just this circle, and we want to go the other way, all the way through, make sure it cuts. Okay, and we can just type in a distance of minus 0.6 should do the trick. And we're good. Go ahead and select OK. And now our axle will be able to go all the way through here. Okay. One of the last things you want to do now is just go ahead and put some fillets or rounds on the corners of our chassis. So let's come to fillet. I'm going to zoom in, click there, click there, click there, click there. We want them to be 0.25. Select OK. And then we want to put some more fillets right here on this edge, right here. So we're going to add them to each feature there. So we're going to come up to our fillet tool again. I'm going to zoom in, click there, 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 in there. And we want our fillet distance to be 0.08. Hit enter. Okay. So that will do it for our solar car chassis. Keep in mind, I'm keeping the design fairly simple, so it's relatively easy to 3D print, and it's also lightweight, so your solar car goes as fast as possible. All right, so the last thing we want to do is to come on up, and we want to obviously give it a physical material. So we don't have polylactic acid or PLA as an option because we will be 3D printing these out of PLA, but we do have ABS, and ABS is a common material to 3D print with, so I'm going to assign it a material of ABS. I'm going to hit close, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a nice, cool, glossy paint job here. So I'm going to click Paint, Glossy, and drag my glossy green finish over to the part and click Close. Okay. That'll do it. Don't forget to save it when you're done. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.